Good evening. So I'm standing beneath this gorgeous tree, which is what we see outside the bedroom window, and you can hear that the birds are really going for it tonight. And I'm here to talk to you about my first EMDR session. This is my first eye movement desensitization, can't remember the R, it's not coming to me at the moment, therapy session which I had yesterday, and long awaited, very grateful to receive, and very fortunate to have a truly excellent therapist, Catherine, I'm working with. And one of the things that is intriguing us both is that I've got the background of a shamanic practitioner, and so I'm looking at EMDR and how it relates to what I know, and she's looking at shamanism and how it relates to what she knows. And so I'll just tell you how it went. So started off, really moved by the bird song, started off with holding the two vibrating devices in my hands. So I'm sitting in a chair just holding these devices, and they pulse. So I'm feeling that pulsing movement, and that straight away, and then we talk about what we're going to do, and then she sets me up with everything. And so in order to do this, what I've got is I've got a pair of headphones on, and these are making a pulsing sound in each ear, and then there's a tripod rather like this one which is set up about a metre in front of me. It's got this long bar that it's supporting, and the long bar's got lots and lots of LED lights, and they're obviously designed to work in a particular way. So once she activates them, what happens is I see this pulse of lights moving backwards and forwards, and what I'm instructed to do is to follow the moving light, and they're green. So I'm watching, it's actually 3 LEDs which are moving backwards and forwards, as I can see, and at the same time as I'm seeing them, I'm also feeling the pulsing in my hands, and I'm also hearing the pulsing in my ears. So I've got all these different representational systems working. I've got sight, I've got sound, and I've got touch. And what she asked me to do first of all is to tune in to exactly what part of my body I don't feel safe in. So that was a bit of a surprise question, wasn't expecting that one. And with all this going on, it just instantly came to me, okay, well, it's my bum, it's my anus, it's my rectum, that's what doesn't feel safe. So okay, so that was a very simple question to answer, and we moved on immediately from that to her second question. So she's sitting to my left side, so I can't see her. This is a very important thing, because mostly when we're working with therapists, we're looking at the therapist. Now, when I sat down and she welcomed me for the first couple of minutes, sure, she was sitting opposite me, but as soon as we were ready to start, she was sitting to one side, so I can't see her. Very important detail. And then she asked me my second question. She says, what part of your body do you feel safe in, where you feel really safe? And I'm watching the lights, my eyes are tracking the lights, I'm listening to the sound pulsing, I'm feeling a pulsing in my hands holding the vibrating devices, and it comes to me. First of all, I'm feeling my feet. I feel a really strong connection with my feet. In fact, as I continue to make this film, I'm just going to kick my shoes off, and I'm just going to actually connect my body physically without any plastic from the shoe in the way to the ground. And as I was saying these words, I realized, yes, my feet, my grounding, and that felt really good. So I spoke about that, but I knew there was something else, and I carry on tracking the light, hearing the sound, feeling the pulsing in my hands, and then the next thing that comes to me, it's the top of my head. I'm quite surprised by this. I'm telling you, yes, my feet feel really safe, and the top of my head feels really safe too, and I'm like really surprised at these answers. Fair enough. And then the next thing that she asks me, which intrigues me even more, she says, what colour do you associate with the feeling of safety in your feet? And instantly I know exactly what the colour is. Again, I'm still tracking the light, I'm still listening to sounds, I'm still feeling the vibration in my hands, the pulsing back and forth, and I know it's a rich reddish brown colour, and that's, I can picture the colour. Then I start to feel like It's a bit like Devon soil, but later on in the session that gets modified to the colour of blood. It's that really rich, strong red colour which relates to the root chakra, the root energy centre, and that feels really good. And then the next thing she asked me is, okay, so which colour do you relate to the crown of your head? And what I'm really excited about is these answers coming up really quickly each time. And so this colour, I can picture it so easily, but it's a little bit more challenging to describe to you, because what I would say is it's what I regard to be Atlantean blue, which is like a strong turquoise, with a sense of a little bit of violet in there as well. And to me, these are the colours of the cosmos. These are the colours of the wider reality, the bigger picture. And so what I've now got is I've now got this sense of safety in my feet, and I find myself reliving an ancient exercise which I've been doing for a very long time, where I actually feel roots extending out through my feet into the soil, into the subsoil, all the way into the earth. And that feels very nourishing. And at the same time as I'm feeling that, I'm also feeling this connection going up out of the top of my head with the Atlantean blue and the violet, and feeling that connection to the cosmos, to the Andromeda galaxy, to the stars, to the planets, to all that's out there, the wider reality, the bigger picture. And for me, being a human being is actually the dance between these two states. And the shamanic practitioner needs to have a clear connection to the ground and a clear connection to the cosmos. And the reason why I'm going for this EMDR session is this is actually what I've lost through experiencing the trauma. I've actually lost that connection, which has meant I've not been able to work in the way I've used to be able to do to help people. So I'm feeling really good about this. And I need to point out that every now and again, when she feels it's appropriate, she stops the moving light, tracking back and forth. And when she stops the moving light, I can see two little green lights, like a couple of eyes staring at me. And that feels significant. So while I'm looking at these two little staring eyes, and that's when I talk. So basically, she gets me to do something, ask a question, gives me the time to do it, and then when I'm answering the question, the lights are stopped and it's just these two little eyes, and that's when I explain what I can see, what I've realised. So that's the way the session is going by this point. And so when it comes to the next series of the tracking of the lights and the asking of the question, what she asks me now is, what I'd like you to do is to see if you can come up with something. It might be a shield, it might be a bubble, but something that represents for you this safe place, this grounding, this connection, so you're feeling really well connected. And off go the tracking lights and the sounds in the ears and the pulsing in the hands. And I should actually add, because she invited me to bring my drum, so I did bring my drum. So for the first half of the session, for most of what I've described, everything exactly as said, but for the second half of the session, which includes the most recent question about the colours and the question I'm going to give you now, I took my drum. And so now I'm not holding the vibrating devices in my hands, I've put them underneath my legs. So I'm sitting on a chair, they're underneath my legs, kind of just underneath where my knees are, and I can feel the pulsing, hear the sounds, watch the tracking. But now I've got my drum out and I'm drumming at the same time. And this feels like coming home. And something else to explain, which is for me, shamanic practitioner, it's really unusual to be doing all this kind of work with my eyes open, tracking lights, because I'm used to having the eyes closed and going into my inner vision. So it's been fascinating and only very, very slightly challenging at first, and the joy to realise I can do this with my eyes wide open. It's really good, I can do all this stuff. So the answer to the next question, is it a shield? Is it a bubble? What is it? Well, it's not any of those things, and I picture it again almost immediately, and what I can see is it's a symbol that we call the Tao. It's the symbol of the yin and the yang. So you've got the circle, and you've got half of it is black and half of it is white, and a little white dot in the middle of the black and a little black dot in the middle of the white. But those are not what I'm seeing, that shape, the shape of the Tao, but the colours are actually the colours I've been experiencing all the way through. So it's the colour of the rich Devon soil or the blood. It's that rich red colour for the root chakra. That's part of this shape, and the other part of this shape is that turquoisey blue with a little bit of violet in it. So those are the colours that I'm seeing. And what she asked me to do now, I can actually see this. So this is my device, if you like. This is my modality, my healing modality, which she's helped me to come up with, which is like wonderfully exciting. And then what she asked me to do is to breathe that modality in to every cell of my body, and I do that, and then it goes into being a big sphere of these colours which I'm immersed in, and then I take it even further. I take it right down to the atomic and to the subatomic and to the quantum level. So at all levels I've got this sense of connection with the earth, connection with the cosmos, represented by the colours, and that this is my safety and this is my grounding, and this is what enables me to regain my vitality and start to become fully functional again. So it's hard for me to explain in words how dynamic and satisfying and healing and nurturing it feels to do all this, but it was just a wonderful experience. And the next thing we knew, that the hour was up, and we were very clear, both of us, that that's it, you're done, aren't you? Yes, I am done, thanks very much, that was brilliant. And so she made it clear to me, although in a sense she didn't need to, because with my shamanic practice I know this, but it's really good. She reminded me that, okay, what we've done inside the therapy session, we take that out into the world with us, and we keep this all the way through until the next session, and then we might do some more work, we will do some more work, whatever. So it's something that's with me for good. That feels really great. And she was wondering whether or not, because she felt we'd done quite a lot of work with this EMDR in one session, perhaps you feel tired, and I didn't feel at all tired. I felt really great, because that was a morning session, finished about 20 past 12. It wasn't until about 20 past 3, that kind of time, yesterday afternoon, when I suddenly started to feel really very, very tired, and that happened to me very quickly indeed. And to be honest, this is the following day, and I can tell that I've been through a very strong, powerful process, and I really do need to rest a lot today. I've done a bit of Qigong and I really enjoyed it, but there came a point when actually even this wonderfully nurturing practice, actually right now I need to do a bit more rest. However, the Qigong was wonderfully helpful, and it gave me just the sense of wanting to come out and share this with you. So that is the description of my EMDR process, session number 1. Very excited about it, and I'll let you know how it goes on. And please do have a look at the description in case there's anything I forgot to say on the film, which I'll simply have in the description. Thank you.